everybody. It's the Old Bear from the Old Bear's Den of Bigfoot. And we got an account that come out of, I know everybody pronounces it Maryland, but a long time ago I watched a movie and they pronounced it Maryland. So it comes out of Maryland. Anyway, I was talking to a gentleman in Maryland, or Maryland, however you wish to pronounce it, and I was up there for work here a couple of weeks ago, and he was telling me about something that happened to him and one of his employees. I was talking to an owner. He owns a trucking company that does what I do in Maryland. And he asked me not to give the name of the city because it may identify him. And what happened was his guys were working from 12 o'clock in the day till 12 o'clock at night. And this happened to be a Friday night, early Saturday morning. The last guy came in and he was giving them their paychecks. And he was talking to the last guy, and they were discussing the day and how everything went. They were running loads pretty late. It was a 24-hour operation, and the boss had to go out on Saturday and run a few loads for that plant. And when he got there, it was about 12:30 at night. And set you all up right. Anyway, he got there about 12:30. Last guy showed up about 1 o'clock. Gave him his paycheck, and they were, like I said, discussing the day. And his employee was leaned against the front of a tractor, and he was looking at the boss, who was standing here. Here's the tractor, and he was leaned against the hood, and the boss was standing in front of him. And all of a sudden, the guy kind of went, "What the heck is that?" And kind of, "Do you see what I'm seeing?" He looked at the boss, and the boss turned around and looked. And they were down there, probably 120 feet from him. There was this rather large, hair-covered creature standing there. Now, the place they were at is well lit. They could see it plainly. They could see the hair hanging down off from this creature. And the boss was telling me that he turned around, he's like, "What the?" He said some colorful words. And because he said those colorful words, his employee kind of stepped to the right and quit leaning on the truck, and he started towards his car, kind of like shuffling to the right to go get in his car to get away from the boss and away from this and get out of there. Well, the boss said, "What the heck do you think that thing is?" And the guy said, "I know what it is, but I don't want to talk about it. I want to go home. I never ever wanted to see one of these things. I listened to things on YouTube about these things. They're just, they're not, I don't want nothing to do with this. I'm leaving. I'm going home." And the guy's visibly shaken. And he turns to his right and starts towards his car. And in fact, he runs towards his car, and the boss is standing there still staring at this thing. And this thing just kind of just nonchalantly lopes across the opening, where they're at this plant, and there's woods to the left side, there's woods behind him. There's no houses behind him, and there's houses over to the left where this thing come from, but there's fields and woods that goes around all the houses that go there, and this is Maryland. Well, he's like, what the heck is this thing? And it just kind of bounces across and walks and goes across the opening. And he's like, really? And he's standing there. And the guy that went towards his car sees the thing left. Well, he comes back over to the boss, walks back over there after he got his car door open and put all his stuff in and jumped in the car. Then he gets back over there to the boss, and he's standing there talking to the boss for a few more seconds because this creature's gone. And they're standing there talking, and the boss is now facing down the way that this creature walked across, and, well, he looks up from talking to his employee and sees another one. Well, this one had hair color all over it, and it was a different color than the first one, and he's like, there's another one, and it's got boobs. My wife's laughing at me because I said boobs. She's here with me.
Hey, everybody.
Just want to let you know. This creature walks across there, and it gets over to the edge, and it lets out a call. Well, the first one that walked across, it calls back to this one, and this one walks into the woods, and the way that it went, there's a set of woods that runs down along this plant and on the back side, and then there's across a major road that goes through. It's a state highway that goes through there. And just across the highway is a thin thing of trees. And then there's a field, and then there's another house at the other end of that field, but there's woods around on the back side of the house, and they're heading in that direction. And the boss looks down at his employee, did you not see that one? That had boobs. And that's just the way he looked at me. It's like, it had boobs. So the employee says, I've had enough. I'm going home. I'm leaving. He cuts the wheel hard right, pulls away and leaves and goes down the back road, getting out of there. And the boss told me, said they'd never seen anything there before, never heard anything, didn't believe in Bigfoot, but he had 2 sightings in the matter of a minute and a half. And it kind of perplexed him because his employee wouldn't even talk to him afterwards. And this happened last June or July of last year. He now knows what they are because he described them, and they're the big one, the male one, went across and said it was about 7.5 foot tall, 8 foot tall. I'm like, he wasn't for sure. He didn't go measure with a tape measure. And then this female that came across there that had boobs, he said was probably around 6 foot, 6.5 feet. Both of them were broad-shouldered, hair from the top of their head down to their feet, and said both of them, when they walked, you could see the feet come up and smack the ground, and you could hear them walking, because they were making noise because the plant that they were at makes a lot of noise. You know, plants do make a lot of noise. And it was like they didn't even care that if there was people around that saw them. So, you know, it wasn't a bad interaction, but it was an interaction. It was a visual sighting. So I hope all of y'all enjoy this one. And when it comes out, I hope you like it and I hope you enjoy it. And it's the Old Bear and Mrs. Old Bear signing off. We'll see y'all.
Bye.